Now that you successfully identified several classroom situations where procedures are necessary, it's now time to look at the three-step approach for teaching procedures. This short video will introduce and help you remember the three-step approach for teaching procedures. Step 1 of the three-step approach is to explain the procedure. First, you'll need to clearly state the procedure. Second, explain the importance of the procedure. And lastly, but most importantly, demonstrate the procedure for your students. Remember, most students will learn through verbal instruction, but it's the visual instruction that will really help them remember how to correctly execute the procedure. Step 2 of the three-step approach is to rehearse the procedure. Rehearsing your procedure essentially means to practice and to re-practice. There are several ways you can rehearse. First, you could call on individual students and ask them to restate the procedure back to you. Or second, you can have individuals, groups, or maybe the entire class practice the procedure correctly under your supervision. And of course, rehearse as many times as necessary. Step 3 of the three-step approach is to reinforce the procedure. It's important to continually practice and rehearse the procedure until it becomes a habit or routine. If the procedure is done incorrectly, immediately have the student or students redo the procedure correctly. On the other hand, if the procedure is done correctly, make sure to give positive feedback. Lastly, remember to be patient. Each class is very different. Some classes will catch on quickly, while others will require daily rehearsal and reinforcement. To help you remember the three-step approach for teaching procedures, we're going to introduce the mnemonic PERR, P-E-R-R. PERR stands for, the first letter, P, stands for procedure. Each letter after that represents one of the three steps in the three-step approach. The E stands for explain the procedure. The first R stands for rehearse the procedure, and the second R stands for reinforce the procedure. Let's go ahead and review the information that we've looked at in this short video. After each question, there will be a pause. Use that time to individually answer each question. Question 1. How can you remember the three-step approach to teaching procedures? In this video, we've introduced the mnemonic PERR, P-E-R-R, which is one way to help you remember the three-step approach for teaching procedures. Question 2 is, what does each letter stand for? Besides the first letter, P, which stands for procedure, each letter represents one of the steps in the three-step approach. The E stands for explain the procedure, the R stands for rehearse the procedure, and the second R stands for reinforce the procedure. Now that you've learned the three-step approach to teaching procedures, it's now time for you to take what you've learned here, apply it to the next part of the instruction, which is to practice and implement this three-step approach into your classroom.